My name is Nico Filosi, and this is the first video of our two where we do an overview of our course. So I'm going to be doing modules 1 through 7 of computer literacy. The first module dives into the impact of digital technology. Technology surrounds us in today's day and age. No matter what age we are, we can't escape it. It is a necessity in our lives, and there's really nothing we can do about it. We're going to continue with technology. It's going to get bigger, it's going to get better, it's going to get stronger. But it comes with positives and negatives. The positives being communication. We can now, with technology, we can reach people all across the world. This helps with businesses and just even our social lives. Information, you can find anything on the internet, just a simple Google search. But that also comes with misinformation, which will be a negative. But a positive would be improved productivity. Technology allows many jobs to be performed online and from home. This was very apparent during COVID, when it seemed like we were in really bad shape, but thanks to technology we were allowed to continue with our lives, so we didn't fall as far behind as we would have without it. So along with those positives, with every positive there comes negatives, and it's like a digital divide, which people don't have the same access to technology. Some people have more, some people have less. Like I said before, misinformation. We have to be careful what we're taking in from the internet, because we can't trust everything, because a lot of people just put stuff out there just to put stuff out there. And along with being careful comes data risks, which is like scammers, viruses, hackers. We need to make sure not to open ourselves up to that. A lot of young people are vulnerable to that just because they don't know. Same thing with addiction, is people can get addicted to screen time and phones. Once again, seen in a lot of young kids where they crave it and they actually look forward to it, and it becomes a necessity just to have their phone. Modules 2 and 3 dive into the web, hardware, and processor. The web is a collection of web pages. It's connected through the internet, which is what the www stands for, is the World Wide Web, which is a connection through the world. And a single web page is an electronic document. This just means like everything, any www, anything we search up, it is a web page, and it is an electronic document. A website is a collection of those pages, and it allows us to take in information, and not even information, it could be anything that we're looking up, media, just for entertainment, learning, anything. And the hardware is the physical components of the computer. So like input devices, output devices, storage devices. Some of those input devices being the keyboard, the mouse, the touchscreens. That's something that we do to make the computer act. We type, we use the mouse, we use our touchscreen. The output devices we take in from the computer. The monitor, we see the speakers so we can hear what's going on, and the storage devices, hard drives, disks. This is what holds our data so we don't lose it. And the processor, or the processor is the CPU, or the brain. It executes tasks, it's run programs, it runs instructions that we give it, so we don't get lost and it doesn't get lost, thanks to the processor, the CPU, or the brain. Module 4 is the operating system and file management. Every computer has an operating system. That's the software that lets us interact with the hardware. It manages memories, files, applications. Examples of this are like Windows, iOS, Android. Software system, it runs the computer, includes the operating system and programs. Operating systems, every computer has one. It's also called the platform. It allows us to interact with the computer, so it does something, and it isn't just a blank document. We are able to control it or operate it. And file management, it allows us to organize data for easy access, helps move, save, copy, and delete files. That's how we run it. If we didn't have those things, we would lose all of our documents. We can create folders, like for example, a lot of college students, including myself, have folders for each class, and that's how we find everything that we need. File extensions to help identify is e.g. docs, JPG, and once again, it's so we can find it, and it doesn't get lost in the shuffle. Module 5 is app use, or applications. They are programs that allow us to perform specific tasks. Some examples are YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Obviously, those are all entertainment, media. But it's also like anything, like text, games we play, Microsoft Word, Zoom. We use hundreds of them every day, and there are hundreds of them on our phones, in our pocket. Apps make computers more useful and more personable. We use apps that speak to us, that we need or we enjoy, but we need to also remember to manage them carefully, check permissions, update them, delete ones we don't use to protect our privacy, and also it keeps our devices running smoothly, because it can get overwhelmed and too full of data, and it can make our devices run slower. But also, without updating, it can make it available for hackers to more easily be able to compromise them. Module 6 was about cybersecurity and safety. Cybersecurity is about protecting computers and data from attackers or damage. Protection from attacks would be like viruses, hackers, scams. We are susceptible to those from anywhere. And common methods to protect our two-factor authentication is it's just for safety. We use it for IUP, where we have to type in our password, and then we get a code sent to our email that we have to put back in, so it knows that, yes, this is legit, this is the right person who it's supposed to be. Once again, updates, it makes it more difficult for hackers to get in. It's always updating, it's always learning from itself to help improve. And then this is on our action, is to avoid suspicious actions, like phone calls we don't know, emails we don't recognize. Just avoid them, and then they won't be able to get to us, because a lot of times for hackers or viruses to get to us, we have to allow them to get to us. And as a sail face, make sure you back up your data always, back up to the cloud. This is so, say tomorrow you don't know what happens and something gets damaged or corrupt, you still have the data that you've backed up and saved, and so you don't lose everything. The last module in this video was digital media, and digital media is all around us. It is any content created and shared on a digital platform, and this includes texts, images, music, podcasts. Digital media lets us communicate, learn, and express in new ways that have never been seen to the world until this century. But we also need to look at the different types of graphics we can see. Is like 2D graphics, which are the height and width, two-dimensional, and it's simple objects, it's not depth, it's just flat. But then we also have 3D graphics, which is height, width, and depth, which is more complex than just 2D, because it adds the depth to it, which makes it more hard to see, which is why, as technology improves, we see that 3D graphics are showing up more and more and more. And then types of digital media, like I said, graphics would be photography, infographics, audio, music, podcast, video would be like movies and YouTube, and interactive would be virtual reality, like where we can act on it. Looking ahead, in the first 7 modules, we saw how computers, apps, and the internet shape our world today and how much they've grown and how fast they've grown. From understanding how hardware and software work to staying safe online and using digital media wisely, computer literacy gives us the skills we need to live and work effectively in this very much digital age. Technology will keep changing, but we need to stay on top of it, and we need to keep changing and growing with it. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation.